Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this one I'm going to show you how to do a dip powder marble nail, but also just a regular, my beginning to end dip powder process filing. I get a lot of shaping questions, so you'll see how I shape my nails too. But first I have my clear base down, which I did clear dip powder, prep my nails, clear dip, I did 2 full coats, and then I buffed them as smooth as possible, solidified. So now I'm on to my peel base, and right now, as you can see, I'm just doing a thin-ish coat of peel base on all of my nails. And then I take, you can use a toothpick, an orange stick, whatever you have, and go around your cuticle just to make sure you don't get any of the peel base on your skin. If you do, not a big deal. Obviously, it peels right off. But it's kind of a pain in the butt if it's connected to your like on your nail and it's connected to the part that got on your skin, because then if you try to peel it off, it's going to lift off from your nail. So just go around it just to clean it up the best you can in your cuticles if you get any there. So as you can see, just a thinnish coat on my nails. And yes, you guys asked, these are my natural nails. I did not do tips. So I still do the clear base under my peel base, even if I don't have tips on or anything like that. For me, peel base lasts a lot longer over clear than it does on my natural nails. For whatever reason, 2 coats on my natural nails, I have nails popping off in a few days, which is great, doing its job. But I prefer over a clear base because then they can last me over 3 weeks. But I could easily pop them off, which I have like the next day, after a week, just whenever I'm ready to change them, and I have no damage because it leaves that clear layer. So yeah, so just do your peel base, like I said, on all of your nails. I did pause this. I did 1 coat on all 5 fingers, paused it, and then did it on my other hand as well. And by the time I get all other 5 fingers done on my other hand, that first coat is dry. You want to make sure that all of your layers of peel base are dry before you add another. So yeah, my thumbnail, go around the cuticle with my pointed tool or my orange stick, and then I pause it, go to my other hand and do that final layer as well, and see they're thin. This is what it looks like. And now that all my peel base is dry, that second layer, this is the third and final layer. And like I said, keep them fairly thin. You don't need a whole lot, but you might. It depends what method works better for you. So you might need thicker layers, like 1 or 2 thick layers versus 3 thinner layers. You're going to have to play around with it. So if it doesn't work the first time, don't give up. Try another coat or less coat. Some people it works with just down the middle instead of their whole nail. You got to see what works best for you. But give this product a try. I promise it is worth it. I haven't soaked my nails off in, probably 5-6 months. I haven't had to soak off because of peel base. Okay, so once every probably 2 months or so, I'll soak the rest of my clear dip off and do a fresh coat of clear. But that's every like 2-3 months. And right there, as you can see, I got a tiny bit on my skin, but I will fix that. You'll see it, the little bump. I don't want to pull it off because it'll pull all of my peel base off. Farther into the video, you'll see how I fix that spot. So no worries there. But final layer of peel base. Mind you, I use Sparkle & Co., as you can see from my towel, which they also sell on the website, which is great, these manicure towels. But the peel base is Sparkle & Co. It's the only brand I've tried, only brand I've needed to try. So I couldn't give an opinion about one versus the other. Peel base from Sparkle & Co. just works the best for me. And then now that these are dry, I'm going to use my custom color crushed raspberries. And then for my marble, DP37 Midnight, which is solid black, and DP93 Pure French White, which is solid white. And then I'm using the Sparkle & Co. French tip mold. It works perfect for marbling. But now I'm going to go in with my base bond, and I'm just going to do, once it gets there, a thin coat of base bond, about 2/3 of the way down my nail. As you can see, I'm not going to go all quite to my cuticle. And then I'm going to dip it in my color and then tap off the extra, and then I go around with that pointed tool to clean up anything that might be in my cuticle. This is how I get really nice lines at the cuticle and not like flooded going around. So now what I'm going to do, and mind you, on your first dip, it might not stick to your whole nail, and that's okay. You're doing 3 coats, no big deal. But so my base color is white for my marble. So I'm going to just scoop a little bit of white powder into the tray. This little thing, I don't know, I normally use a spoon. This was just here. My son was playing with it. I thought, why not try this? But yeah, just kind of sprinkle my 2 colors in there. And then I'm going to take either a toothpick or whatever tool and just kind of swirl it around until you get a design that you kind of like or that you're happy with. And then what I'm going to do is paint on my base bond, just how I would, like 2/3 of the way down. And then instead of dipping for the marble with dip powder, you just lay it flat in and kind of turn it side to side, make sure the nail's covered, and there's 1 dip of marble. So if you're happy with this marble design, you do not have to do 3 coats of marble. You could literally do a coat of clear or a base color. So I could have done a coat of French white, 1 coat of marble, and topped it with clear. But me personally, I always do 3 dips of my marble, just because that's what I do. You don't have to do what works for you, but you do not have to use gel or rubbing alcohol to get a marble effect. As you can see, I use dip powder, and it always turns out really cool. I love that each marble nail is different. It's so fun. So one of my favorite ways to do nails, accent nails, is marble. As you can see, it's incredibly easy, much easier than you would think. And there's no way to mess it up. There's no way to do a wrong marble. So whatever you want to do. But I do notice, have your base color be lighter than the marble, obviously, because it shows better. But anyway, that was the first dip. I brushed off my extra powder. I'm just kind of moving the powder around in my marble container. And now I'm doing a second coat, so keep it thin, but this time I'm going to make sure I get all the way to the sides and a little bit closer to my cuticle. And then I'm going to dip, tap off my extra powder, and go around my cuticle with that orange stick. And I just kind of press the tip of my nail just to make sure there's not lumpy right there. And then now I'm doing the same thing, going over my marble design with my base bond. I do wipe off my brush to make sure I don't get powder into my base bond. Not a huge deal, but it's just what I do. And then there's the second dip of marble. Go around my cuticle again. Make sure there's no powder, no gunk in there. And now I'm going to do my next nail. And all of these products, except for crushed raspberries, which is the bright berry perfect color, that was a custom that I ordered. But other than that, all of these products can be found on the Sparkle & Co website, and I will list them in the description of this video, as well as a discount code you can use for your purchases. There's always free shipping over $25. And if it's your first purchase, you can use my name in the notes at checkout, and it'll get you a $9 credit. Or if you subscribe to a subscription bag, which are now open for signups, you can use my name for an $18 credit, which is awesome. But all of these will be found on their website, sparkleandco.com. Like I said, everything on there, the dip tray, the liquids, the peel base, the powders, the little spoon I used for scooping, and the towel, everything found on there. So anyway, this is my second dip, and as you saw, I didn't go all the way down, and I'm going to go ahead and clean up the cuticle. And that's my biggest trick that works amazingly well, is going around that cuticle. That's going to prevent you from getting that bulky cuticle line. Thin coats of base bond is what helps you not flood your cuticle. And I only do 3 dips, and I did not, you'll see, I didn't use clear over any of these designs. And that's the cool thing about marbling with 3 layers of marble instead of doing like 1 coat of marble and then a layer of clear, is that way when you marble, when you're filing or buffing, you're not losing any of your design because you have 3 layers of marble design. So even if you buff, you're not going to lose your marble effect. So there's no need for me to put clear on if I'm doing 3 coats of this. But you could do 1 or 2 coats of marble, top it with clear. It's completely up to you what you want to do. This is just how I've always done it, and it always works really well for me. Yeah, so this nail, this is the one that has that little bump of a peel base on it. So when I get to filing, I'll show you how to get rid of that bump. As you can see, it's by my cuticle. I will take care of it. It will go away with no problems. But third coat on my index finger. And as you can see, I keep it thin, and then I kind of push it back towards my cuticle. That way I'm not getting any base bond inside of my cuticle. I'm not getting any flooding. Just a nice even coat of dip powder. And you'll see it better on my thumb, how I don't have very much liquid on my brush, and then I very carefully get by the cuticle, so I'm not flooding anything. And third and final dip on this finger, and then go around just to make sure there's no extra powder or anything in there. Press down the tip, make sure there's no bumps. And now that I've dusted off all the powder, I'm going to go in with my Solidify. And I'm starting with the light colors just in case I get any pink pigment on my brush. It doesn't transfer onto the white, which it's a marble, so it wouldn't matter. But do a pretty healthy coat of Solidify. You want it to sink through all 3 layers to harden that dip. So I actually go over it twice just to make sure I got it good. You don't have to. That's just what I did. And then I'm going to let this dry until I can hear that it's hardened. So about 30 seconds to a minute. And then this is how I file. Sorry, I do get out of frame a little bit. But I just file around my cuticle. Oh, and I did the other hand, and I did the different accent nails. So my right hand is my index finger and my middle finger, and then the left hand is ring finger and middle finger. I just wanted something different, something fun, so they're a little bit different, but same colors. So I go around my cuticle to make sure I don't have any harsh edges, and I don't like if I get a little bulky spot by my cuticle, so as you'll see, I'll look at it from the side to make sure that it's nice and smooth transition from cuticle to the tip. I don't want there to be a big bump by my cuticle. So as you can see, no harsh bump right there. So I'm just filing to make it sure it's nice and smooth. And then I look at my tip too, because sometimes towards the tips of my nails, I'll look down the center of my nail because I don't want any bumps by the tip. And then this is how I file straight across. I cheat. I push my nail up against the table so that way it gives me a guide for a nice flat tip, as you can see. So it's nice in a perfect square. And this is where I get a little out of frame because I moved my camera back too far, but that's alright, you get the gist. And then I'm also going to make sure when I file, I go underneath the tip a little bit, and then I come up the sides just to keep that square shape. But that's how to get the good square nail, is to go from, push it against the table, and then you can have your file as straight as possible as a guide. And then after I get it nice and filed and shaped the right way, I will go over it with a buffing block just to smooth everything out. So my filing is to remove any product or for shaping, and then my buffing block just to make sure I have a really nice smooth surface for my top coat to go on. And then my video cut out, so I had to pull it to a second one. So all of my filing is done. Sorry about that. That hand's completed. Whatever reason, I had to record the second half of the video and mush them together. That was what the transition was. But I will show you all my final steps for this hand. So I did my Solidify. And then I buffed this hand as well. And now I'm going over with my second coat of Solidify after I've buffed everything and I'm happy with it. So just a nice coat. You don't want to have, it doesn't need to soak down all 3 layers again. You just want enough to cover the surface of the nail. So did that for all 5 fingers. And then I'm going to let this dry typically 1 to 2 minutes, and then I'll kind of check to make sure it's dry, and then I will wipe it off. So all you need, like I said, 1 to 2 minutes. If you don't wait a full 1 to 2 minutes, you're most likely going to have foggy and matte spots in your top coat. It's not going to dry properly. And I'm using Glossy 2.0. A lot of people ask about how to apply this top coat. So do your Solidify, wait your 1 to 2 full minutes, and then you're going to wipe them off with a paper towel because you want to make sure that no Solidify transfers onto your glossy coat brush, or your brush will get hard and your liquid will get goopy. So make sure you take a paper towel, a clean, dry paper towel, or a lint-free wipe, and wipe off all 5 nails to make sure you have no Solidify on them whatsoever. So Solidify, 2 minutes, wipe with a paper towel. And then even though we're wiping, I'm still going to wipe my brush off, and you'll see me do this to make sure no Solidify, just in case, transfers in to my bottle, because your glossy brush will get hard and your liquid will get goopy or stringy, and nobody wants that because it ruins it. And then you could use it for swatches, but it won't work for a good manicure. So take care of your liquids. But first coat of top coat, and this is for Glossy 2.0 and regular top coat, same instructions. You're going to go in with a little bit of liquid on your brush, and you want to try to do it into 2 or 3 strokes for your first coat of solidify, or your first coat of top coat, sorry. And then wipe the brush on a paper towel, and then move on to the next nail. Try to keep it like 2 to 3 quick thin strokes, and then wipe the brush on a paper towel. Back into Glossy 2.0, same thing. Paint it on, and as you see, I kind of fanned it toward my cuticle because I don't want to flood my cuticles. So just a few quick strokes, wipe it off on a paper towel, and then onto my index finger, same thing, kind of fan my brush out towards my cuticle and do a couple quick strokes, wipe it off, and then same thing for my thumb. And I buffed a little bit too much on my thumb, as you can see by my cuticle. Not a big deal. I'm not concerned. I could go in and do another dip. I'm not concerned about it. So a couple thin strokes, and then I'm immediately going back in with my second coat. This you can take a little bit more time on. You could do a little bit thicker layer. Just be careful not to flood anything. And as you can see, I'm not capping my ends, my free edge, like I normally would, because I have peel base on. If I cap my edges, it's harder to get them to pop off easy. Like, you would just have to file the free edge, not a big deal. But I just don't even cap them anymore, because that's one less step I have to do for removing them. So, not worried about it. You can do whatever works better for you. If you want to cap them, by all means, cap your edges. I personally don't because I use peel base. And then my third coat on my index finger, brush it off, and my last coat on my thumb. And after this, all I have to do is wait about 2 minutes, and my top coat, not even a full 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, and my top coat is completely dry. So if your top coat is not drying in that time, rewatch this and see what you did wrong. But look how incredibly shiny that is. That's Glossy 2.0. It is so shiny. It is the best top coat I've ever used. Highly recommend it. Go get it on the website. It's $12. Best top coat you'll ever use. The shine is incredible. But here's the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment with any kind of nail designs or anything that you want to see. All right, thank you. Deuces and smooches.